Deep in the heart of the British countryside lies the village of Edensor. But what links this small, picturesque village with the most famous and cursed family in the history of the United States? This is the story of JFK's forgotten sister. JFK's forgotten sister was the most cursed of them all. She was rich and reckless, and so free-spirited that everyone called her Kick. She defied her family to marry the man she loved, only to soon lose him and a brother to war. By 28, she too was gone, dying in a plane crash alongside her married lover. The brief, largely unpublicized life of John F. Kennedy's favorite sister is the stuff of Shakespeare, rife with wealth, fractured loyalties, and tragic death. She was the only rebel of the family. If you look at all 9 Kennedy children, she was the only one who didn't march down the prescribed road. Kathleen Agnes Kennedy, the 4th child of Rose and Joseph, was born in Brookline, Massachusetts in 1920. In 1938, her father was appointed U.S. ambassador to the United Kingdom and whisked his brood to London. There, 18-year-old Kick was a sensation. The debutante of the year, a sunflower among pale English roses. It was during this time that she met the future Duke of Devonshire, William Cavendish, Marquess of Hartington. Kick called him Billy. The future Duke, a Protestant and the Catholic American princess, soon fell in love. When Germany invaded Poland in September 1939, Britain braced for air raids. Joe Kennedy sent his family back to America, despite 19-year-old Kick's pleas that she stay behind with Billy. For the next 4 years, she stayed in America, until she joined the Red Cross, which was sending volunteers to England. Once in London, she and Billy picked up where they left off. But as rich and devoted as he was still Protestant. And Kick's ardently Catholic mother, Rose, was enraged. Marrying outside of the church was probably the worst sin one could commit. But hell be damned. Billy and Kick tied the knot in a civil ceremony in May 1944. Kick's big brother, Joe Jr., was the only Kennedy in attendance. They were together just 4 weeks before Billy was sent to the Belgian front. That August, Joe Jr. was killed when his plane exploded during a secret bombing mission over France. Less than a month later, Billy was cut down, shot through the heart by a German sniper. Somehow, Kick managed to keep moving. After mourning Joe with her family in America, she returned to England as Lady Hartington. Soon she was in love again, with Peter Fitzwilliam. Like Billy, he was Protestant and rich. He was also a playboy, a gambler, and married. Fitzwilliam had a lot of money and was a lot of fun. The chances of him being faithful to her were 0. Kick never did find out. En route to meeting her father in France, hoping for his blessing, they boarded a plane, planning to stop over on the Riviera. There were storms that day, and their plane crashed in the mountains, killing all on board. She was buried in England, in the small, picturesque village of Edensor, close to Chatsworth House, home to the Cavendish family. A worn headstone identifies her as Kathleen Cavendish, Marchioness of Hartington. Billy isn't there. His family asked that he be buried in Belgium, where he fell. Only Kick's father, who was in Europe at the time, attended her funeral. Because of the scandalous circumstances of her death and JFK's fledgling political career, the Kennedys wanted little attention paid to her. On Saturday, July 29, 1963, just 4 months before his assassination, JFK, the now President of the United States, arrived in the village aboard a U.S. Army helicopter. He walked from a field over the Deer Leap on a specially constructed bridge that the estate workmen had put up. For a brief moment, he stood in the quiet Derbyshire churchyard beside the grave of his favorite sister. Although his visit was informal, every movement the president made was scrutinized by a weighty corps of security men, including one who waited near the grave guarding the flowers until the president arrived. JFK, his sister Eunice Kennedy Shriver, and members of the Devonshire family placed 3 sprays of roses and a spray of carnations by the simple memorial stone. On January 25, 1964, several months after his brother's assassination, Robert Kennedy also visited the village. Flying from London with his wife in a pink and blue helicopter, it was reported they placed daffodils and tulips on the grave. Just over a year later, in May 1965, Senator Ted Kennedy and his wife Joan also visited the grave to lay flowers. To this day, visitors flock from all over the world to visit the grave and pay their respects.